And hello once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the view from here behind enemy lines. And I think some of the enemy got behind behind my lines too. Anyway, we were supposed to have a guest on tomorrow, but he had to cancel, and we will be interviewing him next Tuesday instead.
So that means we can ridicule him today.
No, we're not going to ridicule. We got advance notice from his publicist.
Why not?
Anyway, we will be talking to Brennan next Tuesday. I do want to go over something. Remember the last week or the week before, the governor of Arkansas, should I forget her name? Sarah. Anyway, hey Siri, who's the governor of Arkansas? Sarah Huckabee. That's it. Sarah Huckabee. Anyway, Sarah Huckabee told Newsom that his state is worse than hers, and Newsom came back saying that, oh, yours has a lot more murders per capita than mine. However, that's Sarah Huckabee Sanders, by the way. However, in looking over the most murderous cities, which I asked Grok to list for me, okay, and it gave me the top 13. Actually, it wasn't a Grok. This was on Facebook. The most murderous cities are, in order, St. Louis, Missouri, with 187 murders. It's a red state. However, St. Louis is a blue city. Baltimore, Maryland, 251 murders, a blue state and a blue city. Detroit, Michigan, we know that's a blue city and a blue state, 252 murders. Memphis, Tennessee, 273 murders. It's a blue city in a red state. Birmingham, Alabama. Alabama is a red state. However, Birmingham is a blue city and came out with 135 murders. New Orleans, Louisiana. Louisiana is a red state. New Orleans, like most big cities, is a blue city, and they had 141 murders. Little Rock, Arkansas. Arkansas is also a red state, but Little Rock is definitely a blue city. We got a mere 68 murders there. Not bad. They're just a little more than what Chicago had suffered over the Labor Day weekend alone. That's for a whole year, though. And Kansas City, Missouri, another red state, but it's a blue city. 151 murders. Now the remaining four are all blue states, and the cities, of course, are all blue cities run by Democrats for ages. Albuquerque, New Mexico, with 92 murders. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 410 murders. That's a big number. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 112 murders. And Chicago, Illinois takes the cake with 617 murders. Okay, for last year, I believe it was. And just this weekend, I had 56. I think it was 56 murders. Was it? You recall?
I'm not keeping on top of that. There was an app that we had that I sent you, which is Jackass something or other. Jackass Chicago or something. Do you remember that?
I saw something about it. I can't remember offhand what it was now. By the way, Chicago's Labor Day weekend 2025, 58 people shot, 8 of them fatally. And Mayor Johnson, appropriately named because he's a big Johnson, he says, Chicago is doing fine. We don't need Trump's help.
Gotcha.
I think the National Guard should go in and take it, arrest him for fucking up his city. Well, no, he didn't fuck it up. He just continued to fuck up. When he replaced Stymie as mayor of Chicago, he promised ahead of time that that nothing was going to change, and nothing has changed.
You talking about Lori Lightfoot?
Yes, Lori Lightfoot. I call her Stymie because
I thought she was Beetlejuice.
Oh, she's Beetlejuice, but she also looks a lot like Stymie. You put a bowler hat on her, she looks like Stymie.
Nah, Stymie was a damn
handsome
man. It was a damn good looking man.
Anyway, so Chicago is the murder capital of the USA, and Johnson says they don't need Trump over there. They don't need the National Guard to come in and straighten it out.
Well, if
Chicago happens to be also one of the most corrupt cities in the country, and we're talking for probably over a century. And the police force in Chicago is not exactly considered honest. Okay, probably a lot more dirty cops in Chicago. Actually, all these blue cities, Chicago, New York, although not so much these days since Giuliani, and Louisiana, New Orleans, I should say, very, very corrupt police forces.
Memphis, Tennessee is a rough town too.
Memphis, oh yeah, Memphis is
Little Rock, Arkansas, another rough town.
Yeah, all blue cities, all run by Democrats, not just for recent years, but for decades. Okay.
Well, the thing is that since Trump sent in the National Guard and created an atmosphere where the police were actually allowed to do their job without being crucified for doing so, surprisingly, things got a lot better. No murders. No.
For the first time in history, no murders in a 7-day period. Absolutely none. And Mayor Muriel Bowser, who was originally opposed to Trump taking over, she is lauding Trump for his actions.
Right. Because if you can't beat him, join him. So,
also, he obviously shows that she's got more brain cells than Johnson over in Chicago.
Well, she has at least 3. So the thing is that when you have a radical shift,
you get 3 from.
She has at least 3. So the thing.
Wait. Hold on. You can't just say that and walk away. Where do you get 3 from? How does that compute? I agree with you, but
because she got 2 thoughts and put them together. That's the number 3.
Okay, all right. I'll accept that. Go ahead. Well,
but the thing is that it's a bullshit statement. So shit, come on, man. God damn it. Anyway, the thing is that the left is doing its normal death throes, which is basically becoming more and more outrageous in their declarations and their perversion of statistics and so forth like that. When you have somebody like Gavin Newsom, who probably the closest he comes to a religious institution is probably the local bar. I mean, the man is a greaseball. He's not worth the time of day. And he's been, chosen by God? Usually that's something that somebody else says in your behalf. Usually it's not your own personal declaration.
Yeah, but he's the Antichrist. He's one of the Hydra heads of the Antichrist, so.
Right. Well, he wouldn't know God if God hit him in the top of the head. But the thing is, it's just more bullshit. It's just more bullshit. It's like, it's the thing about the left projects their own corruption upon whomever it is they're opposed to. So whatever it is that they're doing that's wrong, they accuse the other person of doing it. It's one of the problems that people have with firearms when they're carrying is if for some reason if they have an incident, if they don't call it in right away, the standard operating procedure for most police departments is the first call is the victim, the second call is the perpetrator.
Yeah. That's why if you ever have to use your firearm or a knife or anything in self-defense, you immediately contact the police and tell them what happened.
Call 911 and whatever, but also make sure that you have some sort of legal protection. I have a U.S. Law Shield.
Same here.
Yeah. Texas Law Shield, whatever it's called.
U.S. Law Shield.
Yeah, U.S. Law Shield. So the thing is, the reason why I brought that up was because the left does the same thing. It's the same effect. They accuse you first of what they are, and then you're presumed to be the guilty one because if you say, well, no, that's you. Come on, that's your argument. And no. So
Uh, I want to point something else out about the D. You have you seen the DC protests against the National Guard on the streets?
yes.
Did you notice one thing? They interviewed people. I've seen people interviewed black people on the streets. They are happy as hell that they can walk on the streets, not look over their shoulders, not worry about getting carjacked or kidnapped or mugged or whatever, or raped. And all the protesters, every single protester I've seen protesting in Washington D.C. is white and middle-aged or beyond.
That's because they're privileged and they're getting paid for that.
They are getting paid. They are definitely getting paid.
Throw some money my way. I might show up too.
Adam Schwartz told the media what he told us a few months ago when we first had him on the show, that he turned down a multi-million-dollar offer to provide protesters for the Democrats against things Trump was doing. I don't know if he is still providing people. I mean, people who offer ask for his services don't necessarily have to tell him what it's for.
Well, here's the thing. As I understood it, this is his process. If there's a protest, and if he has people who want to go to these things, and if they're in agreement with the protest itself, they're allowed to go, and they get paid on top of it. So It's not the same thing as just gathering up a bunch of people, regardless, and then sending them out,
which his competitors are doing.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's the one who created crowds on demand. Although the idea of paying for groups of politicals is as old as Stalin. So the thing is that there's a lot of lies going on. There was let's see. I'm trying to remember this thing.
That door gets brush. Where he's going? Go ahead, speak. I'm listening.
Well, the thing is that we have over $7 trillion worth of investments coming into this country now because of Donald Trump.
$7 trillion, right?
Trillion.
Yeah.
We have the price of eggs, price of gas, everything's gone down. Supposedly, some of the things that we're going to see will not happen for another year. That drops some things down, and so there's a lot going on. There is some people are complaining. They're saying there will be $1 trillion spent on military, and people are very upset about that. But part of that expense is being covered by getting rid of, I believe, 80,000 useless government workers who didn't even show up for work. They were basically in name only. So
you see what the CDC did? They walked out en masse. What would Reagan do? I don't know if you remember. You weren't involved politically back then, but you know what Reagan did when? Do you remember what Reagan did when the air traffic controllers walked off the job?
Absolutely remember. Yeah, he sent in the military to go ahead and take over those spots.
And fired every single one of those people, replaced them.
Right. So basically, what they would call that is a union buster. And the thing is, I worked on the railroad, and there's a Tart-Hartley Act or something called like that. Yeah. So that was one where it said that because of the fact that the railroad in and of itself is a national resource and essential for the country's well-being,
strike.
we are not allowed to go on strike. So I worked in an industry where I wasn't allowed to strike in protest to wrongdoings. So I have some sympathy and also some acceptance of this. I'm like on the middle. But the general rule of thumb is an employer has a right to fire an employee if they do not fulfill their agreed upon contractual obligations.
Yes.
Now, a strike is seen as basically a number of individuals as a group doing exactly that, refusing to perform, at least in some manner. And so and the strength in numbers thing, because the idea was that the industrial base was far more powerful than these people, so they had to band together. So I understand that. So there's this whole thing about, are unions socialists? Well, yes and no. They are a group of people performing, an action of protest as a group. But at the same time, I never felt like a socialist when I was ever at a job and there was a talk about um, uh, going on strike or having a sick out or something like that, because of the fact that we felt that we were being put upon, and the only way to get some sort of response in our favor was to basically upset the apple cart, to have the clientele complain about the loss of service, and also have the company lose a certain degree of income, which would cause distress. But the thing is, Amtrak is federally funded, so
Subsidized.
yeah.
Loses money all the time.
Well, see, the thing is, railroads really can't make money. They're too big and they're national. It is a
Especially
service.
these days.
Yeah, I mean, I most railroads are funded by the various countries, and because it's too large. I mean, just think about how big a network the railroad system is. It's all over the country. Plus, you're electrifying it, and then you have freight. I mean, it's massive, and it's got 10,000 different names. But it's like our power grid. It's this massive, massive conglomeration of utility. It's just
It's all connected.
absolutely, yeah.
One
So
way or another.
it's like, should the police ever go on strike? Fuck no. Do they have any sort of recourse? I don't know what their limits are in regards to
They
what they
sometimes
can
do
do.
slowdowns, I know that.
Yeah, they do
Best
say
thing they can do is stop giving out tickets. Because one, that would get the public on their side. Two, that would get the politicians moving because all of a sudden their income stream is drying up.
well, the other problem
Not
is
that I want to give the police unions an idea, and not that they probably haven't already thought of it.
there is uh see, the thing is, when I'll give you an example. There is a neighbor in my neighborhood that's not happy with the parking situation. So what they did was they complained to the city and uh, made it more difficult for the locals to park because they all had to get permits. Well, guess what? I got a permit.
Right.
So now I have not only, I have legal justification of parking exactly where she didn't want me to park, which I do now. Why? Because of the fact I can with impunity. But the thing is, I haven't taken advantage of it. I parked there like I did in the past when my situation it requires it of me, So the thing is, like, if I have to
So
unload
what about
groceries
street
like
parking,
that,
or you're off street parking?
well, I have both. I have a permit to park on the street, and I have my off-street parking as well.
Right.
And the thing is,
I mean, you could even park in front of her house if you wanted to, all the time.
well, no, she can't park in front of her house. That's why she was a bitch.
Why? Because people are parking there.
My point is, she moved here knowing the parking situation, or at least,
Aware.
yeah. And so the thing is that you moved here, the parking situation did not change. You're being a bitch, okay? And then you went to the city, and now they have parking enforcement. And the thing is that it's the same thing, I think, for the cops or people in my situation. You go into this job, there are certain things that you have to take on. Like, if you go a job like at Starbucks, get used to the idea that you might have to work crazy hours, or you might have to work on the holidays.
And you may have to clean the toilet.
You may have to clean the toilet. So the point is that when you take a job, there's certain understandings that are applied to the job that it's unlikely that you're fully aware of all of the understandings, but the fact of the matter is they're there nonetheless. They're established. When it comes to essential workers going on strike, I'd have to say no. You should not go on strike because of the fact that what you're doing is that you're not protesting specifically to the organization that is in charge of that, which you work for, but you're also increasing the distress of the citizens that you swore to serve. So the thing is that it is your duty in certain cases, in the cases of the police and doctors, etc., to fulfill your obligations. Otherwise, get off the fucking job. Okay?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think, though all those people, those hundreds of people who work at the CDC who walked off their job, do you think any of them are essential? Yeah. Thinking back to what happened during the shutdown, where they have admitted since then that 6 feet was arbitrary, yeah. All that crap was arbitrary. We know now that that closing the schools was not necessary. All right. We know that everything that they did was just a dictatorial push. You think any of them are essential? Oh, also, they told us who was essential and who was not, who could work, who could not work. They destroyed millions of small businesses across the country, trying in an effort to destroy the middle class.
Well, the thing is,
their main goal, really. Not their goal, maybe, but whoever was controlling their strings.
Well, here's the thing. You have leadership, and that leadership goes ahead and makes a dictatorial declaration. And then the underlings under them pass it out. And then the worker bees do the work. Every person in that chain is responsible. Now, the thing is that in Nazi Germany, there were people that were hiding Jews. Why? Because their ethics was greater than the law. You know, it was not illegal in Nazi Germany to eradicate Jews. It was legal. But those people who chose to see beyond the law and see within their hearts actually performed heroic duties, and many of them probably died because of it.
They did. And I mean, that goes back to what they say about unjust laws have to be opposed. But the left uses that, calling anything that President Trump does unjust, which is bullshit.
Right. What the thing is that the left doesn't use it because they pervert it. So therefore, it is not the same thing.
No, they just use the slogan. That's it.
Oh, that's all they're good for, slogans. They use facades to hide behind, their corruption.
Every one of those NGOs and bills that they put into Congress, they have such nice flowery names that how could you oppose what the name implies? Meanwhile, the name has nothing to do with what it actually does.
Hey! I just came up with a new joke. What did two NGOs say to each other as they're passing by each other in the street? What's up, my Engo? It sounded better in my head. Engo. No, not good.
I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. That's a new low even for this show.
Nigo. That would have been better. But anyway, the thing is that...
yeah, it sounds like a real name at least.
Yeah, it was messed up.
Like Ingomar Johansson. Ingemar.
The problem is sometimes the joke sounds funnier in your head than it does in real life.
Yes, I'm sure that happens a lot with you.
It's kind of like when you're on a date and you squeeze that girl's breast for the first time and realize that was the wrong time to do it.
What kind of?
It was that. let's see. I'm Sir Edwin Hillary. I had to go there because it was there. Actually, that's not the answer he gave. They said, "Why did you climb Everest?" He says, "Because it was there." In truth, he had a different answer for that.
I had, I had bill collectors on my tail.
There was a guy that climbed Everest blind. I have a
Okay,
feeling he
well,
wasn't by himself.
yeah, I don't think he went by himself. One, two. At least he didn't have to worry about looking down and getting dizzy.
Can you imagine having to climb with a blind guy always looking out for his ass? I mean, climbing Everest is hard enough as it is, but
Or
having
him looking out for your ass. What happens if you're behind him and you slip and he's got to pull you up?
you know you got ropes tied to him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all have. They're all connected with ropes.
So when he gets to the top of Everest, he goes, "What's the big deal?" Now, see, now that was a Jesselneck move.
Yeah, they would.
So, I understand 21 cities are going to be visited by the National Guard.
I have no idea how many.
Trump is ruining this country by basically destroying the one truly capitalist occupation, which is thievery, the acquisition of capital. Come on. So, I mean, come on. The nice thing about being a thief is you make your own hours, okay? And if you don't get caught, life is good.
Yeah, and if you're a politician who's a thief, then your chances of getting caught are less.
Oh my God, that reminds me. I just finished watching the first season of a DC comic inspired series called The Penguin.
Okay, you told me
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no comic book bullshit in it. This is a master course in criminal mentality, in narcissism, in viciousness.
So it's a comic book derived version of The Sopranos. Is what you're saying?
It is, I think, even darker than The Sopranos.
Darker, okay. Yeah, The Sopranos had humor in it and stuff.
No, this has everything The Sopranos had. It's just that the Penguin is
just a vicious person.
Let's put it this way:
he doesn't have flashes of being a nice guy like Tony Soprano had.
If somebody threw this series at you and you'd never heard of Batman or the Penguin as a comic strip character, and you watched it, you would just think it's yeah, it's good. And the thing is, you don't want to like it, but it's you know what it is? It's roadkill. You don't want to look, but you gotta look. It's and the thing is that the main character. Did you ever see the movie Joker with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah,
it's of that level. It's like there's no comic book in Joker.
Right, it's just the evolution or devolution of a mind, of someone's mind.
Right. Well, the thing is,
dark recesses of insanity.
Where Joker is falling into insanity. The Penguin is establishing his evil.
Okay. Yeah, Penguin was not a nice guy. Even in the comics, they tried to disguise it.
Not a nice guy. Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say he'd sooner kill you than go fishing with you.
No, he might like the fishing because he is a penguin after all.
Spam. Yep. But
no, we got spam. Oh, we have.
And the thing is that if you're looking for a gritty criminal series, which I normally don't like to watch, this is as dark as it ever gets.
Like Narcos.
That really famous Jewish guy that's on podcasts, Ben
Ben
Shapiro.
Shapiro?
He recommends it. I mean, and Ben Shapiro is a serious guy, and he recommends it. So if you
You
don't
know what?
trust me,
I've been watching two series right now. City on the Hill, which is getting tiresome now the last few episodes because it's getting a little woke again.
okay.
But it's still overall good because I like Kevin Bacon and I like what's his
He is,
name, the black dude who's the star plays the Corsi Ward. I forget his real name, damn it. He was in Leverage for years.
don't know.
Anyway, uh, he's cool. But I'm also watching. I'm into the third season of Person of Interest, which when it was on, I had no interest in it, but I started watching it a few weeks ago. It is good. It's
Okay.
really good, and it's like 16 seasons, or I mean, 16 episodes or so a season. I'm on
Wow.
season 3 now, and I think there are 4 or 5 seasons. It caught my attention. Anyway, the reason I brought this up is that once I finish both of these series, I'm going to go on to The Penguin.
Oh, okay. That's if you
Where
can.
is The Penguin shown anyway? What?
Well, I got my copy from the library. Ladies and
Ah,
gentlemen,
you got
ladies
wait,
and
wait, you got the whole series?
the first season.
Ah, okay.
I think that the second season is brand new and it's available through streaming services, but I don't like spending money for that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, get off your dead asses, all of you, get off your freaking dead asses and get a library card. It's free. The resources are amazing. And if you have a DVD player or if you like to listen to CDs or whatever, come on, it's all there. It's free. There's even internet service. So this way, when you perform all your criminal activities, you can use the internet service there.
I
Not
had
to
I
you can
recently
you can pick up a lot of homeless people hanging out in the lobby and stuff. Okay, some of them are good looking. Just wash them off a little bit. Uh, you may be surprised, but no. That is
I
actually
recently renewed my library card, which I had not used in town here since before. Well, when I was still marriid in the '80s. Okay, but I've been back in town a few years. I finally decided to go renew my card. It gives me access to, I think it's 30 or so libraries in like 3 different counties. Okay, and you can pick something up somewhere and drop it off anywhere else in that system.
or
Okay,
they will deliver it to the library that you'd like to go to, and you can pick
they
it
can
up
do
there.
that too. And they have a lot of they have a lot of CDs. It's not just books. They have a lot of CDs and that you can
When I lived
borrow.
in
And it's free.
Pennsylvania, which had a population of 2,000, their network was 5 or 6 libraries within, I'd say, a 30 or 40-mile diameter.
Okay.
Anything that those libraries held were available to you. So if you're in a rural area, take advantage of this stuff because books, this, that, and the other thing, whatever. Plus, a lot of times they have events, especially if you got kids. They have kids events, and hopefully, it's not some trans guy, in a sequin dress, trying to explain to you why mommy and daddy are racist, sexist monsters that should be destroyed.
And why you should be in a dress if you're a boy, or cut your penis off if you want to be a girl.
It's basically an extended circumcision. It's a bigger circumcision.
They are foreskins in dresses. Okay.
The thing is like I was watching this thing this thing on the news channel, and there was this event for kids, and they were teaching kids and stuff, and there was a guy that was teaching the kids,
Yeah.
and he didn't come off as being any kind of a macho man or anything like that. He felt a little bit too erudite, you know, a little bit too urbane, a little
Okay.
bit possibly feminine. I don't know, because sometimes intellectuals can be that way. But anyway, the
You
point
gave
is
the
that
impression, even if they're not.
it's made me super, super judgmental now because now I'm hypersensitive. I'm looking for this. It's like oh that's you.
But fire,
Yeah. I
fire.
wasn't sure where that was coming from. It sounds weird from this side of the universe.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't
But
come around here. Okay.
you know what
Well,
it
the
sounds
alarms
like?
haven't gone off, so.
You know what it sounded like? Do you ever have a gyroscope?
Oh my God! When I was a kid.
Right. When you used to pull it, you used to make that high pitched noise. That's what it sounded like. Almost like a subdued siren. Real spinning real fast. Gyroscopes were freaking cool. I don't think they make them anymore, and they were
No, they
freaking
do. They
cool.
have those gyroscopes where you toss them in the air and they come back to your hand and stuff. Those are a type of gyroscopes. You throw them up in the air and it goes around and it comes right back to you like a
Oh,
boomerang.
wow, I've never seen that.
You never saw that? Yeah, check it out in a toy store or something. Or
No,
online.
if I go to a toy store, everybody's going to be going, "What's he doing here? What's that
Oh
guy
yeah,
doing?
exactly. Yeah,
What's up with
that's
that guy?"
right. That's right. Unless you have grandkids in tow, you're you're going to be under suspicion. Hey,
Hey, look,
actually, you know what? Broke my heart a few years ago when they went out of business? Toys R Us. That was a great store in the day when my kids were small. It was easy to go there and look at stuff. But I went in there a few years ago when they were still open. It was like a dead warehouse. There was no charm to it. There was no excitement to it. Everything was stacked up, and you just grab what you need and go. There was nothing inviting about, nothing appealing about it, and they just went out of business, which is weird because it's one of the few times that a mega store went out of business rather than all the small stores in the area.
well, KB Toys. I don't know if they're still around anymore, but I haven't seen one in a long, long time.
I haven't seen one in a long time either. Oh, there is the one that's in the ghettos. We Be Toys.
KB Toys. Actually,
Yeah,
there's one in
correct.
in North downtown New York. It was WeBe Toys.
We Be Toys. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
right.
there really was a store that
Broad,
named
it was on Broad Street and Market.
Broad Market. Was We Be Toys? Broad Market. Wait. You had the Needix on one corner. Across the street, you had Woolworths.
It wasn't
Across the street
exactly on the corner.
I can't even tell you what was
It
there.
wasn't exactly on the corner. It was offset because I used to take the bus to go to Oak Island,
Okay.
and it was across the street, a few stores in from the corner. But you know,
Across the street on the Woolworth side, you mean, or on the Needix side?
I was on what was it, South Orange Avenue
Oh, that's
and
further up.
Broad
That's further
Street.
up.
Yeah,
South Orange and Market Street, where the
right.
courthouse is.
Yeah, I used to take the bus from Irvington, which is a house. Roy sold me that house, and it was a piece of shit. And
You want? Wait a minute. You wanted Irvington at the time, and I said, "Are you sure you want Irvington?" You said, "Yes."
yeah, were you the one who made the joke saying that we're a bunch of snowflakes?
It may be. It sounds like
Yeah.
I might have. I don't know.
Well, anyway, the good news is Elizabeth did sell
Sounds
the
like
house,
me. You know.
and she went to Clifton. She went to an actually good neighborhood. Now, Irvington, New Jersey, at least the section I was in, beat the hell. It probably
Well,
still is
Irvington used to be a great city. Back in the
in
before
the
the
1800s.
50s, I guess.
Yes, in the
What?
1800s. I understand
No,
William
even
Pell
in the
Penn used to go
1940s,
there.
1950s, it was a good town. I heard other people who came from there. They liked it, and I knew a woman who was one of the heads of the Friends of the New Jersey State Opera. Her husband was a councilman there. He was a white guy, and they had this nice big house in Irvington. And it was really a nice place, nice neighborhood, and everything. But that was still in the 70s, so there were still spots in Irvington that were good. You weren't allowed into those areas, being you.
Well, here's the thing. It got us a place. We were there for a while. Elizabeth sold it. She used that money to get to Clifton, so it all
Yeah.
worked out.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it was. And to be honest with you, my specific neighborhood was not as horrible. It's the surrounding area that was a problem.
Right. You were okay. You just had to get there. it's like my brother's brother-in-law. He okay. My brother's future father-in-law was the last white guy in his neighborhood uh, in the Central Ward in Newark. He lived about 2 or 3 blocks away from the Jimmy Buffs on, I think, 14th Street or something. Anyway, Celso said that when he would come home from school, he'd get off the bus and he would have to run 3 blocks to get home to safety. And he would be chased all along.
Wow.
Okay. It is bad, yeah. And the two girls, the twins, thank God they were never hurt. I guess because they lived in the neighborhood, people kind of accepted them, and they were cool. It's just like when I lived on 42nd Street in Brooklyn. The uh, the Latin Kings owned that corner above where I was living. I would come off the train and walk down or go to the train station. They never bothered me. Not one time did they ever bother me because I was in the neighborhood. I lived there. I wasn't Hispanic, but
You weren't a gang member either.
I wasn't a gang member. I wasn't Hispanic, but they left me alone. So I was basically, I found out later on, I was under their protection because I lived in the neighborhood. And then I found out one time when I got sucker punched by a crack addict, and I didn't hit him back right away because I thought he's probably part of the Latin Kings. I went to the store, took my contact off, then I found out no, he's not a member of the King. And then 3 young kids, probably around 14, 15, come running in. What happened? And the guy in the store told them, oh, this is what happened to that. They went running out looking for the guy. I looked for that guy for months afterward, never found him again. I think they found him, and I think they dispatched him because he dared hit one of the neighbor.
Well, it could have been anything like don't ever show up here again, etc., etc.
No,
Or
he wouldn't have listened. He wouldn't have listened. He was an asshole. That.
oh, well, then, there you go.
The funny thing is, he sucker punched me holding a pager in his hand because we're standing there confronting each other, and the store owner's near me, right? And
Wait, he's holding a what?
he grabbed his pager.
He was holding a pager?
A pager, yeah. And I go, wait, and I thought to myself, I didn't hear him. Yeah, this is in the 90s, early 90s. And I said,
was he a Muslim?
No, he was Hispanic. It was
Boom!
Anyway. He takes his pager, right, and I go, that's funny. I didn't hear his pager go off, and my eyes went off of him just for a second, looking at the store owner, and all of a sudden, bam! I feel this tremendous. It's like he hit me with a baseball bat over here on under the eye, and what happened was I was like this, and I just went. My neck crunched down a second, but I just stood there. I didn't move back or anything, and I just looked at him. And I was about to get him when then I thought, shit, this might be the store owner got between us, and I thought this guy might be part of the Latin Kings. If I touch him, I'm dead. Then I find out he wasn't, so it was open season, but I never found him again. And he was the thing is his face, even though he was on crack at the time, he hit me as hard as he could with that thing, and by surprise, right? And he came down on my eye. And I was surprised he didn't crack my eye socket. Anyway, I never got hit that hard by anybody, and I just like my neck crunched down a bit, and then I just looked at him, and he had a look of shock on his face. Okay, it's just like when my brother Paul was working in Plainfield. My father owned a Subway sandwich shop there when he was in the 70s, I guess, or late 60s. And Paul was working one night by himself in the middle of Plainfield, downtown Plainfield. Not a good place. My father didn't realize when he rented the store. And so he's taking care of these 2 kids come in, he's taking care of them. Meanwhile, there was another exit to the back, to the parking lot. Some kid, one of their friends slipped in, came in and entered through the back door into the kitchen. And Paul's starting to get the order for the other 2 guys. All of a sudden he feels bam on the back of his head. He said it gave him a headache that lasted all
frozen
night, right, and part of the next day.
Well,
He
I don't
said,
know if we're still recording or
my
not.
brother's
Let's
6'1",
trying to
and
connect.
he was in pretty
Make
good shape
sure
at the
that
time,
you
weighed about
have
200
a
pounds.
stable internet.
He turns and looks at the kid. The
Looks
kid's
like I
got a
do.
baseball bat in his hand, and when he sees Paul turn and look at him, his eyes went wide. He started backing up, and then he ran out, and the other two ran out also. So I guess we got tough skulls. Thank God. What happened? You froze for a while there,
You
and now
froze.
you just jumped to the front of the screen. Anyway, that's my story.
Yay. Let's see. What else?
I don't,
Let's see. We're not sure what Putin is doing. We're not sure what's going on in Gaza. Okay.
I don't even want to comment on Gaza because I'd be accused of things if I told you what I really feel.
Yeah. I say
And no, it's not against the Jews either, not against the Israelis.
No, as a matter of fact, I was having a conversation with somebody, and I told them, I said, I'm totally pro-Jew, Jewish Israel. I'm totally for Israel, and I will always presume they're doing the right thing, unless I know otherwise.
Yeah, no, the bullshit that the so-called Palestinians, which never existed until the British named the area Palestine, uh, they it's all bullshit. And I've seen film clips showing that how they set up things. They have kids throw stuff at the Israeli soldiers. The Israeli soldiers fire shots into the air or into a nearby abandoned building, and then they make believe that whoever was throwing the rocks is dead. And I've seen things where the guy's under the thing supposedly dead. They got his face covered, and he starts moving underneath. His hand comes up, and then they put the thing down. And there's always, whenever that would happen, there was an ambulance right around the corner, coincidentally. Okay, so the ambulance was there within seconds. Okay, these guys can't even make a fucking film to save their life.
Mm.
It's all propaganda bullshit. You can't believe anything a Palestinian says. They go by that Quranic principle of taqiyya, which means you can lie to non-believers to advance the cause of Islam. So fuck them, and anything they say you can't believe, as far as I'm concerned. That's it. Not that the Israelis are probably always telling the truth, but I know they're not, connected to genocide. And I've seen film clips of Palestinian or the Hamas fighters killing Palestinians who were trying to get food that was delivered, and then claiming the Israelis are starving the Gazans.
Mm.
Then you see film clips of Gazans in the city. They look fine. They don't look like they're starving. Then Hamas releases things like, "Oh, this child is starving." You see this child. Turns out the child had cerebral palsy or something, right? And meanwhile, his brother's standing a few feet away. He's fine. The mother looks like very well fed, and only the child is starving. Bullshit. Hamas has to be exterminated. Period. I said it there.
No arguments here. Hamas
Anyway.
is another perversion that was created by this extreme Muslim regime, or whatever you want to call it.
They are the regime.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Muslim faith as I've witnessed it lately. I'm quite sure they're.
Well, Hamas has it in its charter. In its charter, it specifically states it is one of its goals is the elimination of Israel and all Jews.
On our website,
The Jews have 3% of the Middle East, and yet these people want to eliminate them completely.
on our website, there is a video from a very learned man, and it is about the idea that Muhammad was essentially not real. That it was that the story of Muhammad is actually a fabrication 200 years later, and supposedly there's no historical records of Muhammad in existence during the time he supposedly was doing his thing. So,
which may be why they don't want you to make any images of him, because they don't know what he looked like, because he didn't exist.
well,
That's
we don't know we don't know what Yahweh looks like either. But the thing is like,
Well, you're not supposed to make representations of them because you
yeah,
don't know
I
what they look
understand.
like.
Yeah, it's they. Well, the thing is, there's a lot of crazy rules and stuff, and it's easy to ridicule people when you're outside of their line of thinking. But essentially, we have that video on our site, and you can go click on it if you want to watch it, and leave your comments, contact us, whatever. I'm not saying it's absolute. I only watched about half of it
It'll get you
because I heard
thinking.
all I needed to hear.
It'll get you thinking. By the way, that audio that you put up on our website of C.J. White there, I I have heard other tales of a blondish man or reddish haired man appearing, a bearded man appearing to different Indian tribes. And it seems that the way he's talking about it, that Jesus was there during the 40 or 45 days that he was dead, right? Or that he disappeared after his crucifixion before he came back and then went up to heaven. And that it was shocking to me to find out that a lot of Cherokee are Christian because, in part, because of that.
Well, they're
It's more
Christian.
involved in that, obviously, but
Yeah, they're Christian as well as following the Cherokee faith itself,
yeah,
which is very shamanic driven. Another interesting thing is I happen to have the good fortune of being taught by a Buddhist. Um, I forget his title. He was a priest, but he had a high title. And um, anyway,
Grand
he
Poobah.
says he said that there were records in Tibet uh, of the period where Jesus was alive, of a man visiting from the region where Jesus came from.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it was written in Sanskrit. So the thing is that yes, so supposedly Jesus did some studies in Tibet for a short period of time. He
Well,
was
they say he may have gone as far as China anyway, because a lot of his teachings coincide with teachings of Taoism.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the reasons why I went back to Christianity, because I found many of the teachings, the Native American teachings, and many of the um,
Asian.
Buddhist and Taoist. I don't consider Taoism a religion, but Buddhism is a religion.
Yeah.
And
No, but
so,
that was teachings. I'm
yeah,
talking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But the other thing is that I also read the Hopi Bible, which, according to scholars, there was an event that the Hopi witnessed based upon their calendar of I don't remember how long it was, but when Jesus died, supposedly there was a night that lasted 4 days, and according to the Hopi, there was a day that lasted 4 nights.
That would have been his resurrection.
Yeah, because they're on the opposite side. So there are people that have
So
done the
one
math.
followed the other right away. Then.
Well, the thing is, if you're going to have night for a long period of time on this side, you're going to have day on the other side. So there's that. There's a lot of interesting um, correlational things going on in the religions, uh, which is essentially every single religion is about metaphors. It's about finding what their particular expression means. And there was an excellent book called The Three Pillars of Zen, where he talks about the reestablishment of these ancient teachings in the modern tongue, because the metaphors change, and we need to speak to modern people in a manner which they understand.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm sorry, I went off into the weeds at that point.
All right.
There you go. But there's a lot of cool stuff. There was an excellent book, The Teachings of Jesus Christ, where they put all of the teachings of Jesus Christ in chronological order.
Mhm.
So you're able to read from the earliest declarations from the in the Bible all the way in sequential order. And when you read it that way, all of a sudden you see the development, the, the intentional development of Jesus and how his teachings follow a very logical course. It's quite astounding.
Thomas Jefferson took the Bible and he cut out all the words of Jesus in the Bible, and he compiled them into what is known today as the Jefferson Bible. So it has
Okay.
none of the other fluff, nothing about Noah and Moses and this, none of that. It just concentrates on what Jesus said and did uh, during his time, during the last 3 years of his life, basically. Because
Yeah,
we
he
don't,
made,
and when he was 12, because we don't know what happened between the time he was 12 or 13. 13 they become a man, so he could have gone out to the east, to the far east at that time, learned stuff, and then come back this way. Developed his own philosophy, some might say.
as the Aborigines call it, a walkabout. Yeah. The thing is, if you're somebody who's slated to be the Messiah, uh, you're going to have to soak up some serious knowledge.
Yeah, you're gonna have to know what you're talking about. Okay, we're at almost about an hour right now, and
Okay,
I think we're cool for
we
today.
are cool. We are cool.
And we are cool. We are so cool. We're so cool. You need a jacket to watch us.
Don't forget to go to our website. We got lots of fun stuff there in case you missed something.
Yes, and we will see you again next time on The View from Here, Behind Enemy Lines. We're watching you.
We're watching you.
Oh, by the way, please share the show, rate, review it, please. Give us 5 stars if you liked it, and whatever follow the show, please. That help us out there, especially on Rumble. But any platform you watch us on or listen to us on, please give us a follow. It helps the algorithms, helps people find the show.
And listen
And
to us. You can listen to us in your car, and so you don't have to. You can use some of that dead time. You know that dead time that you call the people that you're supposed to call, and you call them while you're driving because you don't want to waste time on them. During regular hours. Well, you can listen to us too.
yeah, you don't have to watch us. You can just put us on and listen to what we're saying. If you regularly listen to Apple Podcasts, as I often do, you can put us on that list too,
There's nothing to see here.
especially on that side of the screen there.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I agree, especially on
All
that
right.
side.
Well, have a good day, and we'll see you next time on The View from Here, Behind Enemy Lines.